A century of discovery. Knowledge about the physical characteristics of early humans and pre-humans has been gradually built up during the past century or so by the discovery of a number of their skulls and other bones. And bit by bit, these pieces of fossil evidence have been fitted together to give us not a complete genealogical tree, but a series of likenesses which can be taken to show the state of development of the human race at different times, and also to point out for us how modern man arrived at his present stage of development from his remote and less remote relatives. It is concluded on anatomical grounds that the nearest living relatives of man are the anthropoid apes, the gorilla, chimpanzee, orangutan and gibbon. Certain South African fossils of Pliocene age, sometime between 15 million and 1 million years ago, or earlier Pleistocene age, say 1 million years ago, are still more human in form, and may, in fact, be ancestral to the human stock. Fossils of true men, but not of our species, Homo sapiens, have been found at Chakutien near Peking, called Peking Man, 1927–29 and since, in Java late in the 19th century, and in Moer near Heidelberg in 1907. The Chakutien and Java remains are skulls, perhaps dating back more than 500,000 years. They are like us, but have some ape-like characteristics too. The fossil from Moer is a single lower jaw found in a sand pit. The teeth are of the human type. This fossil probably dates back to the beginning of the first, penultimate, interglacial period, about 500,000 years ago. An ape-like jaw, a canine tooth, and the skull of a man referable to the same species as modern man, Homo sapiens, found at Piltdown, Sussex, were for a long time problematical. It is not known that the jaw and tooth are those of a modern anthropoid ape. The skull is that of a woman of late Pleistocene age. A gravel pit at Swanscombe in North Kent, with Middle Acheulean flint tools, which date from the second, i.e. penultimate, interglacial period of about 250,000 years ago, also yielded some skull bones, occipital and left parietal, which agree with those of modern man, Homo sapiens. Two crania of individuals belonging to a race very close to Homo sapiens, if not actually members of our species, were found in deposits not later than the third, i.e. last, interglacial period, Upper Pleistocene, about 120,000 years ago, at Fontechevade, Charente, southwest France. There are other instances which help to support the view that Homo sapiens had already evolved before the beginning of the Upper Pleistocene, about 175,000 years ago. This is very early when compared with the concepts held by paleontologists 50 years ago. But when we examine the record of fossil mammals as a whole, it is not a surprisingly early date for a living species, and one might well expect that further discoveries will throw back the origin of Homo sapiens quite a long way. But there is another species of human being, now extinct, well represented by fossil forms, which is of great interest. In 1857, Dr. Philrott found part of an extraordinary human skull, with some other bones of the skeleton, in the now famous Neanderthal cave near Dusseldorf, Germany. A similar skull had actually been found in a cave at Gibraltar in 1848. In later years, many other remains of the same type have been found in Belgium, Jersey, Italy, Yugoslavia, South Russia, Siberia, Palestine, and North Africa. Such remains are termed Neanderthal. Neanderthal man cannot be regarded in any sense as intermediate between the apes and modern man, Homo sapiens, and, as he must be regarded as a separate species of human being, his biological designation must indicate this. Scientifically, he is called Homo Neanderthalensis. Neanderthal man was not as upright as modern man. His head and his brain were large. The brow ridges of his skull were larger than those of modern man. The forehead was noticeably retreating. The brain case had thicker walls than that of Homo sapiens and was flattened. The lower jaw had a receding chin. A step forward in correlation was taken when two skeletons of Homo Neanderthalensis were found in a cave at Spy, in Belgium, associated with typical Mousterian implements and with bone and animal known to be characteristic of the late glacial period. In many other places the same kind of association has since been found. We have already seen that long before this Homo sapiens was also living. Neanderthal man evidently died out, for no living race of human beings exhibits the physical features he possessed. Also, it may be noted that the earlier Neanderthal, Mousterian, men were more like modern man than later Neanderthal man was.